All right. Hello, everybody. Kimyon speaking. As the president of the European Goalball Club Association, I want to wish all of you warmly welcome to the second masterclass in the Goalball Academy history. Till last Sunday, we received grade 66 registration for this masterclass. It's so today our subject is very interesting and inspiring, but also that goalball community bands together during these difficult times. As we all know, there's no mind in any sport, not referees. And we are more than happy that we have today Mr. Bülent Kimyon, IBSA referee coordinator, as the speaker for us about refereeing in goalball today and also in the future. During this webinar, you can bravely feel free to share your thoughts and opinions and ideas, and it makes it this masterclass more useful and valuable for us all. But before we will leave the stage for Mr. Bülent Kimyon, our European Goalball Club Association Vice President, Mr. Luis Yestas, tell you about the instructions, how we will operate today during this webinar. So everybody enjoy this webinar and share the knowledge which you will acquire today in your country for all the people there. And yeah, enjoy. And now, Mr. Luis Gestas, you are warmly welcome to tell about the instructions during the webinar today.
I had a problem with my webcam. The normal thing will be say good afternoon to everyone, but I also have to say good morning and good evening. The Goalball Academy started last 1 month ago, and we have now reached 5 continents. Today, there are the 29 countries represented. Hello, Bulgaria, Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Bulgaria, Colombia, Czech Republic, Finland, France, Germany, Great Britain, Greece, Jordan, Lithuania, Malaysia, Mexico, Morocco, Netherlands, New Zealand, Oman, Portugal, Qatar, Romania, Russia, Slovakia, Somalia, Spain, Turkish, and Ukraine. The Goalball Academy director, Marcia, sent an email with the instructions for the class. It is important they always keep the microphone off. It is important to not interrupt the speaker only in important situations.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Goalball Academy Masterclass. It's also new for the Goalball Committee. We are happy to hear some suggestions and some feedbacks. Our main idea is to improve and to have on better stage the refereeing. So I welcome you if you have any suggestions or any recommendation according on the especially on the global refereeing program. So if you have any questions or if you want to discuss, because I received some question, I request from the organizer to send me if they have questions, just we to prepare for them, and I received a few of them. So before we continue, I can answer their questions. Then I will give you each of you to have any questions or any feedbacks or any recommendation on the Goalball stage. So the first questions was from Luis, and it is, we know that it will only be possible to develop Goalball if we develop the growth of the three main players, athletes, coaches, and referees. We have 109 referees in Europe certified by IBSA. We can consider that is a good number. But if you observe that countries like Poland have 19 referees, GB, Great Britain, and Greece 12 each, and Finland 10 referees, we realize that half of the European referees are in these four countries. And we must congratulate these federations for their brilliant training work. However, I'm concerned as a director of the academy that countries such as Belgium qualify for the Paralympic Games don't have any accredited referee despite having their national club championships. So this is the first question I received. And okay, we can say that IBSA Goalball Committee is responsible for the rules and regulations and updates, their documents and training, education referees and other officials. We cannot force any country to organize clinics, though we can propose to local organizing committees to organize them if they have tournaments. So good referees can help the country to develop their team's capabilities and skills. So far, we used to have 2 Belgian referees, but I haven't received any clinic request from Belgium for the past few years. The other question was, with the European Grand Prix, AGCA intends to conduct referee clinics in emerging countries that can arbitrate in this competition. This will be one of our contributions to the development of arbitration, and we want to have referees by IBSA and its coordinator on our side, so that in 2 years we can double the number of European referees. And our feedback that to double referees in Europe doesn't make any sense. We have referees enough. So what we can do together is to improve the quality of the referees, not the number, but the quality of the referees. We think the best way is to have a commissioner in every tournament. I'm sure that IBSA commissioners can be great on the help to the referees. I had another questions. Is goalball is sport played faster and faster, and these plays often raise doubts. There is no technology that allows you to immediately check whether the referee's decision was correct or not. Because in the same way that a coach gives a bad instruction, a player makes a high ball, so the referee can make mistakes. Do you agree with the application of technologies means in the main goalball events? Okay, so I can say that we have been discussing for the last 4 or 5 years about this technology. And it's not only the committee, but also with IPC, Agitos, and Paralympic Results and Information Services. We have been approached some software provided with their proposals, but we don't have any against tech, and we don't have any against technology. We see it as a part of development and future of goalball. We need to define what to measure. Many huge sports like football, ice hockey, tennis, or can use millions for this technology. It's true that by technology, any sport can more fair and transparent, but it's, as you know, all depends on the money and the budget. And these cameras, and when it makes double price for the local organizer committees, because when you have such of this camera system, then you need to invite two more, maybe, or for each venue, additional referee to check the monitor in case of the protest. So it's giving huge money for many organizers. The other question is about the protest fee. The other question is, the protest is a weapon that the teams have to defend themselves against mistakes. However, in my opinion, there are some problems that harm global and equal opportunities and justice. Starting being charge money for the protest makes teams with less financial resources are afraid to ask for review of the decision. Then the protest is made after the game is over, even if it refers to an event that occurred at the beginning of the first half. Often the correction requires that they be played in seconds when the game ended a few hours ago. It will not be important to think about the implementation of a rule similar to the red flag of the National Football League of American Football, and where the coach uses a timeout to make the protest. If he is right at the moment, it's corrected. If he is not right, he is removed at time discount. So what's the opinion about this measure that exists and how it influenced the games was one of the questions. So we can say that the rules and regulations have been made also to give teams the right to look for the fairness and justice. It's fair to have a fee, and maybe even should be even higher. While otherwise there could be too many protests. Very typical is that team loses a game, they try to influence on the final results by protest. We believe that existing way is good. Protest is handled after the game and decision is final. Today, we have almost in every championship live streaming, and we should follow the game schedule like Paralympic rules. Paralympic rules are very strict for postponement or delays of games. So the other question was, Goalball is a pure amateur sport, and where there are no financial desire to motivate a young person to go to refereeing, it must be due to the spirit of camaraderie that exists, that I have had the opportunity to watch, and it's fabulous among the referees. Arriving at the Paralympic Games should be the prize for all those who dedicate themselves to goalball and should reflect the work of years. And the question was, I was surprised to see in the choices for Tokyo 2020 a referee from my country, Portugal, who didn't play in national championship and he has no international experience in major national team competitions, but was chosen to go to Tokyo, when in a year he only makes a small tournament for not lose the level of refereeing. I know that in this case has given rise to some challenge in the referees. How can we capitate a young man to the cleaning and dedicate himself to refereeing with the commitment and this dedication and willingness to involve? Okay, I can say that we have a very good, transparent, and fair selection system for officials. Many people are not satisfied while they think they should be selected into every championship. In 2019, IBSA had seven sanction events. Eligible referees, which are level 2 and 3, for those championships were around 100. While we are rotating referees, we need totally 70 referees. Major selection criteria are experience and performance. But we give also opportunity for the new referees to show their capabilities. And only 2-3 referees were selected twice for reason in 2019 in regional. And this is male or female or quota or etc. In the past, only a few referees were selected to officiate in all tournaments. Now, there are more opportunities for new referees to show their skills. Paralympic selection is global. which means we try to pick referees from different regions and take care of the quota. That also happened. Luis Gestas is talking about ITO selection, I think, and the committee give opportunity for new people from new countries as a part of the Goalball to spread in the new countries. Those ITOs are not refereeing, but they are acting as a table officials, and we hope they will get more excited for Goalball and work for the sport in the future. We also, okay, just a second. Luis, I think I already replied, and if you have any comments or any questions, please let me know. If you have any other thing to discuss, I'm open. It's according to your question. Is that okay? My answer, or do you want to add any more comment? Okay, thank you, Luis. So, Eriki, do you want to ask your question here, or so everyone can hear you, or I can read your questions? Eriki,
can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yeah, and yes, you can read my questions, of course, and if you would like to give some answers, and maybe if I get some more questions, I can ask later, and everybody else, you can also ask later if you have some questions. Of course, you can ask from Bülent about refereeing, but yeah, you can read my questions, of course, and answer.
Here's the Eriki questions. There have been many cases in major championships where a referee has made a big mistake to allow a goal, which has been crucial for the result of the game. And after the game, it has been clearly shown from the video that a ball didn't cross the goal line. Have you made any explanations in IBSA Goalball Subcommittee about using camera technology in the major championships to ensure goals in unclear situations? So as I talked, that the technology costs money, and it's in this case the best way is to train the goal judges more. And one of my proposals is to have the level 1 referees as a goal judges in sanctioned events. So not we saw in many tournaments before that most of the goal judges were volunteer, and they were not maybe focusing much, or they didn't know the rules well. So I think it's the cheapest way now to train the goal judges more. The second question was, have you had any discussion that if there was the camera system to be used in the major championships in the future, would teams have a chance to make challenge during the games as they have, for example, in volleyball? So I think we already talked about this technology comment, and yeah, for now it's the other disadvantage is when the Paralympic Games, Olympic and Paralympic Games postponed to 2021, we also have the disadvantage of to test this kind of technology in the events, because we have limited time to discuss and to check the rules before they expire. And the other question was about the 10-second penalties. If the 10-second clocks will be visible on the screen, that everybody could see them during the game. So this one, I was not there, but it was tested. The test was made during Beijing 2008, I believe. So we have, as you know, that rules for the 10-second timers now, that they're only level 2 and level 3 referees are eligible to have 10 seconds. And of course, referees do their best and try to do their best, but sometimes it's human being. We had maybe I don't know if they have difficulties with 10 seconds, but before that, the existing rules, as you know, that we had more 10-second penalties than now. And in this current rules, I haven't seen 10 seconds coming much, maybe 1 or 2 in a game. And this, why not to be discussed, of course, and it doesn't make any sense to be visible or not. I think it's okay, or they can do it like we are doing now. But as I said before, this is also a technologic things, and it should be tested. And I had a rule issue from Bulgaria player, Ivailo. I sorry if I pronounce your name wrong, but for this, if you have any rule, any issue on the rules to discuss, please send to Global Referees IBSA Sport to email address. So I can forward to RAC members, and then we have to decide and what the rule says and give you the answer. But here I think we are meeting to have the improvement of the global refereeing and what can we do. So what is before I talk about the future or what we are expecting on the future, I would like to hear your comments also. Okay, stage yours. So Eriki, can you coordinate, or can I, who want to ask question according to the referees program or to development project?
I believe that Luis can coordinate this.
Okay, Luis.
If someone would like to ask something, now you can open your microphone and ask. It's easier way. If you have now some questions, you can ask from Bülent now.
So Reno from Germany has a question.
Okay, Rene.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So Reno from Germany. So the club situation in Europe, it's more and more professional. And for the future, I think the sponsorship for the clubs is very important. And my question to you, can you imagine that in future the rules for the numbers, for the player number in the front of a jersey is maybe like in other sports, handball, for example, to make it from 18 centimeters to 10 centimeters, for example. So when we can have some more sponsors, or the sponsors a little bit bigger, like in football or handball, so to promote the sponsors and to have a better solution for the clubs.
Okay, Rene, I write your suggestion. I think why not? So it should be discussed, because most of the, as you know, that all the teams in different sports like football, they have many advertisements on the uniform. And if the Goalball become very popular and you have sponsor, should be discussed this one. We have the rule policy now on the rules, but you know the Paralympic is different, unique, and they have the standard procedures for the Paralympic. But for the sanction events or for the other events, it should be discussed, because Paralympic it's under the IPC, but the sanction event is held by IBSA. So this is a one point to discuss. Thank you.
Thank you, Bülent.
From Greece. Hello, Bülent. Hello.
Hello.
I wrote a question about the cameras. Is it so expensive? Cameras for the goal lines? If you use technology, you were talking about this.
Yeah, I think they had some research that just to see it also always you can have the cheaper one, but now I received from the committee that they were discussing and had one opportunity that about 40 or 50,000 euro. I don't know what kind of cameras also will be used and where, for high ball, for long ball, or for only for goal line. So
I think for all the lines.
So for the lines, you mean for high ball or
high ball, long ball, and the goal lines. These are the lines we use.
This one, I know that it costs some money, but I received feedback from Alex that he said about 40 or 50,000 euro. And as I said, that the organizing committee will have an additional cost to invite not only this equipment to have, but also to invite maybe 2 or 4 referees, 2 in each hall, to be used on the camera during the. And so it's everything possible, but it's all costs money.
I'm just wondering that if you have the cameras straight on the line, you don't need the people to use them. You just record.
Yeah, but
that's why
we are not. Yeah, nobody. I think nobody against it. It's always useful to have and to be more fair to have using camera, but this one should be tested, and how much will cost and who will pay that. So do you think that all the organizer will agree to have that such equipment? It should be discussed on IBSA also.
You know, if a mistake is going to judge a game, qualification game is so important for the team. I remember, I don't know how many years ago, I think it was in Turkey, in a qualification tournament, but so big mistake didn't give the qualification to the Paralympics. So I'm wondering if we can use it only for the official tournaments. They're so important for the teams, for the national teams. It's a start.
Yeah, I agree to use it.
Just a thought. I don't want to waste the time.
Okay, thank you.
Just think that if you put just 4 cameras on the lines, from view from up to down, it's very clear to have the result.
Yeah, as I said, that should
just
be
think
tested.
about
How many cameras and how many views?
2 goal lines, and two lines. We need 4 cameras. 2 goal lines, high ball and long ball. The high ball for the one team is the long ball for the other team. Just 4 cameras.
Yeah, why not? So as I said, it's all
so
cost money. So yeah,
you know how much costs the camera today? It's not so expensive, believe me. You can put it upstairs someplace. We can think about.
Yeah, we are thinking that about, but as I said, that we will discuss once again on the committee, and the committee will have will give to the IBSA board about this challenge. So we'll see. Thank you.
And could I ask in some seconds? I would like to listen your thoughts about all the situation with COVID and what is going to happen with goalball, and how safe is goalball to be played under these conditions. Do you think that we can go in a gym soon, or to take a long time? Just your opinion.
Pardon, I really didn't get it.
Okay. And if you have any suggestions, how could the referees and the coaches make the game safer? Thank you. Thank you all.
Ευχαριστώ.
Bülent,
Hello.
Yes.
Antonios from Greece. Hello again.
Hello, Antonios.
How are you?
Thank you.
Hope you are all well. We are in the middle of a strange situation
Yes.
with COVID-19. And I have a similar question with many. If we suppose that we restart sometime with the sport, if you have thought about all safety measures that are needed to restart, Goalball is a sport with no contact between teams, but there is a lot of contact between teammates and also a lot of contact between referees and players with substitutions, with eyesight check and so. So what would we change in order to be everybody safe to be back in the gyms and in the tournaments again? Thank you.
Thank you. So I think this COVID-19 is, it's pandemic situation, and we don't know when it's over and how long will stay. But this all will consider after the. I believe we all miss to turn back. Some to play, some to referee, some to coach, and we'll see. So I agree with you.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Ivailo from Bulgaria.
Yes, Ivailo.
And my question was, because last year, before the European Championship Group C, we wanted to design the equipment. And we sent a letter to Global IBSA secretary, if I remember well. And he answered to us to make equipment and to take a photo and to send to him. What is not so cheap to make the design of 2 jerseys, and after he to say to it's not possible. And for that, it was the question because didn't write in the rules, and so many referees said there isn't problem to play with this kind of jerseys, but it's not well for small countries to make something like this and to go to the tournament and the referees to don't accept the equipment.
Ivailo, I will forward your question to Reg.
Yeah.
And I think I have your email address because I received, or you can send me the same question to Goalball to me, and then after I forward and how their opinion, I'm sure we will give you the.
Yeah, and this kind of things I think can change in the rules to be more clear, to understand well.
Yeah, so when we have the rules changing, that you can have your proposal and send your proposal also to us.
Yeah, and one other question I have, when it's made so many tournaments like Goalball League and the other big tournament, there is so many referees who are the same. Can Erki and Goalball Association make some plans to change the referees and so many referees to be better and better to referee to good games, because so many referees have a chance to whistle to the good games.
And what's your proposal?
To make some ranking of the referees and to some competition, maybe from IBSA or from European Goalball Association to choose the referees, but to the other tournament to choose the other referees to make
Okay.
a
So
whistle.
selected referees will be by the committee, and now we have commissioner in sanction events, and commissioner's job is also to give feedback after each day, or right after the game, sometimes right after the game, sometimes the day after all the games over, and then you can see the referee's performance in each day. And I can give an example that we had while I'm doing this commissioner or the other referees doing, each referee improved day by day, and because we know that what we did, and we didn't know what happened. Maybe it's 4 eyes always better than 2 eyes, and commissioner, I think, and technical delegate will have more opportunity to select them. And of course, it's if the referee doesn't have a good performance, will be considered to be selected or not for the future.
Yeah, understand. Thanks.
And can I answer also to Ivailo about European Goalball Club Association events like Super European League? We have some ranking system, and about this ranking, the main clubs, organizing clubs, can choose the referees at all. Of course, it's we have a lot of referees on that list, but they can, of course, invite from that ranking list the referees who they want to whistle in that tournament. And it's about, of course, it's responsibility also for us, but organizers of the Super European Goalball League stages will make the final decision about the referees, but they have to choose them from the ranking list. And next year we have Euro Grand Prix tournaments, some smaller club tournaments around Europe. We are starting this project, and we hope that we will get a lot of new referees from the international level and get more experience about international matches. And this way we want get more referees and to the matches and also improve them all. And it's our goal that we will get, of course, more high-level referees in Europe.
Yeah, that I think it's a better way to have much more good referees who to substitute the other, because to the most of the tournament we meet with the same referees, and there is some good referees who are not invited to the big tournaments, and I think that will be chance for them to whistle the good games.
Yes, definitely. And of course, it's of course financial point of course for the organizer, because sometimes if I organize a tournament in Finland and I invite some referee from Sweden, it's much cheaper than but of course we have to get more rotation in this system, and more referees to get experience of the high-level goalball matches, international matches.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Excuse me, Erki.
Yes.
Just till now, we had a lot of complaints about the cost of several tournaments, because a lot of teams thought that it was too expensive. And normally, if I remember right, most of the referees are volunteers. Am I right?
Yeah, you are. Yes, and of course, organizers will pay. In Super European Goalball League, the organizers pay all the expenses of the referees. We pay flight tickets and accommodations and meals for referees, and that's
So-
that's the.
I'd like to say this to Ivo, that he must know that it's not so easy, because we will have a much bigger cost if we make this list with the referees. The cost will be, I don't know. Now the cost is affordable for some teams, for many of the teams.
Yeah,
Can Cycle pay? Can this championship take the money to pay the referees to come and whistle? Could be great.
Yeah, it's
But you can talk to us about.
Yeah, of course, really, yeah, and about the costs at all. I think cycle tournaments, of course, we have to keep them high level tournaments and high quality tournaments because they are Super European Goalball League. They are our main event, and that's way, of course. Participation fee is €200 per person for a tournament. At all, it's of course expensive for someone, but after all, I think it's not so expensive tournament at all, because you get high quality, you get good accommodation, meals, and you get good referees in the tournament. You get very good matches, and that's the point why Super European Goalball League is sometimes people think that it's expensive, but after all, you get a lot of high quality tournaments when you participate in Seagull. And about the referees, I still we know that most of referees, all the referees are volunteers, and we want to appreciate the referees and get them committed, that we pay all the trips and accommodation and meals. That's the one major thing that we can get referees to be committed in Seagull.
Thank you. I just want to say that now we can combine it with Reno's question about the sponsors, because most of the clubs in our for disabled or for have not the finance to pay so much money. So if the clubs could find some sponsors, it could be easier to participate in these big tournaments in cycle and tournaments like this. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks, Manny. And about how the Bülent say that we have to discuss about that number in front of jersey. If it could be smaller, it makes it opens a lot space for the sponsors, and it would be a great change for the rules if we can use more sponsor area in the shirts, because in the future our aim is to, of course, get more clubs in the Super European Goalball League, real clubs with the sponsors and like that. We would like to get bigger every year, and of course that's mean that we must have a sponsor space in the jersey for the sponsors. It's one of the easiest way to get more sponsors.
Thank you.
Mr. Bülent,
Yes.
more questions for Mr. Bülent?
One question, please.
Yes, boss.
Yes. Hello to everybody. Since we have no tournaments at the moment and no Paralympics, nothing to do whatsoever, has there already been thought about the passports for referees for next year? Because it will not be possible to have a few major tournaments or major games to write down in your passport. So it's very hard to meet the criteria for next year.
Yes, we were discussing that with Reg and with the committee, subcommittee, and we were waiting that how long this COVID situation will last, and then when we start to think about it was the 1st of April, and now we're 1 month later, still getting worse in many countries. So we will be. I'm sure that this requirement for the referees will not be the same, because we are in the unique situation. This has not happened maybe once in 100 years, and this is the first time, as you know, the Olympic Games postponed. It was only one case, the World War II, and now with all this, they will consider, and I believe that we will have good decision for all the referees. Maybe we will reduce. We should see if in many countries, if they postpone or they cancel the tournament during the year. So I believe we will have on decision soon on that.
Thank you.
Okay, any suggestion or comment or? Louis, I think that's fine. This is the first time we meet, and maybe the next time we will have we will more prepare and have more questions. So thank you very much for joining, and I wish all you to be safe and well during this bad days.
Can I Bülent, ask one question more about when you will change the rules? Is it 2021 when we will change the rules, and which kind of changes are coming?
So this will be discussed on the subcommittee, and I think there will be news on the IBSA website to have the feedback, the proposal from teams, from countries, from referees, coaches, and then I hope that all will get implemented, but I'm not sure yet for that. But I believe that soon you will have news on IBSA website.
And when we will should new rules should be used? Is it
after Paralympics?
Yeah. Okay, after Paralympics. Yes, all right, great. Because then we have a chance to test some test events for the new rules, and how long we can propose new rules.
Yeah, this all will be defined on the IBSA webpage, that you can send your proposal between these days, for example. And we'll see. So let's see that how long will last this COVID situation.
A point of information, Bülent?
Sorry, boss?
Yes. Could we discuss the proposals that are being made, and could you talk about that within the subcommittee, so we can discuss new rules and new proposals in a far broader way than we have been able to do in the last decades on this way, like we are talking now? Or is it not an official way of dealing with those things for the subcommittee? Of course, the final decision is the subcommittees, but this way of discussing the new rules would be nice, I think.
Yeah, why not? I agree, but first we should talk with. I should talk with the subcommittee and have their opinion. But I'm open to have wider view from different countries, coaches, referees, and discuss it before why we have this technology, Zoom, and for free, and then will be decide on the subcommittee. I will have your opinion, and I have the same opinion to discuss before we select or decide any rules on the subcommittee. We will talk that.
Thank you.
So I have one more question.
Yes,
Germany. So in 2019, Ukraine get the slot for continental champion. And when next year in May, for example, we have European Championships again, so it's before the Paralympic Games, and another country would get the championship, will win the championships. Is Ukraine fixed for Paralympics in Tokyo, or maybe could be changed?
You mean the changing about the
qualifying places? Yes.
So yeah, okay. This I think is more better to discuss with the sport director, but not me.
Okay.
I will. Yes, I will let your question.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I can inform all of you that we will have on June we have a IBSA subcommittee sport director, Goalball sport director Alexei Baryaev with us in this kind of meeting, and then we can ask more about the upcoming championships.
All right, that's great.
Luis, Eric, I think we had that meeting today, and thank you very much for your host. Yeah, for your host. Yeah. It was a pleasure for me also. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Bülent. This was very inspiring and very interesting meeting, and I hope that we will have this kind of meeting in the future about, of course, the rules, new rules, when we can talk about them maybe more, and maybe a little bit when we know more about new rules, and it would be great if we can get you here again in some date in the future. And yeah, we are very thankful, and this was great to have you here. And of course, still people, you can send, of course, questions to Bülent and proposals to Bülent by the email. Maybe you can put your email in the chat. I think it's a referee at what, or maybe you can tell about your email address. It's people can send proposals and answers to you, questions to you.
Yes, I'm just writing. Yeah, I'm writing my email. Here's just a second.
Bülent, is possible transmit the email in the final for email for all participants, if you concord?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it's the best way that everybody will get your email address after that meeting, and then if someone has proposal or questions, they can of course send email to you. And yeah, it was wonderful to have you. And once again, people, thank you all for this masterclass. And I think we have got a lot of inspiration and a lot of knowledge now about more about refereeing and what's gonna happen and what we will have in the future. And I can now inform that we will have a next masterclass on 23 May 2020. Yeah, 3 weeks, and then we have for the athletes we have Mr. Tyler Merrin from USA. He's a personal trainer, and he's of course goalball player, still playing in a US national team, and he will talk about how the athletes can train during this corona pandemic time. It will be very useful. So people, if you can market that meeting and that webinar, it would be great, because I think many athletes should be then here. And yeah, great. And thank everybody for today, and I hope to hear you and see you all again after 3 weeks when we have the next masterclass, and it's hanging there, athletes how to train during the corona pandemic. So we will hear you all then, and I believe we will have a once again great masterclass upcoming. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye bye, everyone.